Welcome to Smart Remarks, where one terror attack on the Constitution becomes a mere piece of paper. So a few weeks back in my newspaper column, I praised Republican Kentucky Senator Rand Paul for his stance on drones. You'll remember his big filibuster against drones, where he demanded to know if President Obama believed that the president had the power to use drones to kill an American on American soil. Quote, "I will speak as long as it takes until the alarm is sounded from coast to coast that our Constitution is important, that your rights to trial by jury are precious, and no American should be killed by a drone on American soil without first being charged with a crime, without first being found to be guilty by a court." Man, I'm getting all teared up. Or maybe it's a sty. Because earlier this week, appearing on the Fox News, or the Fox Business Channel, Rand Paul had something very different to say. They were talking about the Boston bombings and maybe, couldn't we use a drone to take out that bomber who was hiding in the boat? Rand Paul had this to say, quote, "I've never argued against technology being used when you have an imminent threat and active crime going on. If someone comes out of a liquor store with a weapon and $50 in cash, I don't care if a drone kills him or a policeman kills him." What? Oh, I get it. See, Paul's okay with using drones and technology to kill the bad guys. It's only when they're used to surveil the good guys that we got a problem. But I got a question here. What if we'd used a drone to kill that bomber in the boat and it turned out that it wasn't the bomber in the boat? It was somebody else. This happens all the time in places like Afghanistan, where we got Al-Qaeda. Oops, accidentally took out a wedding party. Well, they were Muslims anyway. They probably deserved it. And so you see how something like terrorism causes us to renounce the things that we say we believe most passionately. Conservatives who have spent months howling about the Constitution in relation to gun control measures are now outraged at the prospect of due process for the surviving Boston bomber. They want him held as an enemy combatant. They want him tortured. The crime in their eyes justifies actual nullification of the Constitutions. I'll give libertarians this. They jumped down Rand Paul's throat after his comments this past week. Paul felt compelled to issue a clarification where he said, quote, "Armed drones should not be used in normal crime situations," and, quote, "surveillance drones should only be used with warrants and specific targets." Right. Senator Paul, what happens if we have a situation where we have a Muslim that we think might be a threat, but we don't yet have a warrant? Should we use a drone in that situation? The reality is that Rand Paul now likes the surveillance state, the national security state, as much as anyone else. And you know what? In the wake of the Boston bombings, you like the national security state. All it would take is 3 or 4 bombings like this in a row, and the entirety of America would be howling for martial law, howling for drones in the sky above every city and every town in the country. And you know what? Rand Paul would be right there with them.